Could you also talk about the piece for a while on the video?
Okay. This piece is called In Dulci Jubilo, which is a sort of strange macaronic chorale. Do you know what macaronic means? Macaronic means that in the words of the chorale, sometimes you have mixed languages, Latin and German. In Dulci Jubilo is Latin, but sometimes you have German interspersed between the verses too. So this is a chorale for Christmas, right? And Bach wrote several versions of that, and this is BWV 729. And it could be played with pedals, where big chords could be played with manuals, but the lowest voice could be played with the pedal. And that's especially obvious for the ending, because the texture is too wide. But in the middle of the piece, you have runs between the voices, and that texture doesn't suit the pedals very well. So since this is inconsistent, I'm going to play it on the manuals only. And maybe you could choose which version you like more, right? And sometimes you have organs without pedals, sometimes with pedals, and you could be flexible. Of course, your fingering then must be different while playing for manuals only. This piece is constructed in a way that congregational singing would be very, very difficult to achieve. Originally, such a hymn or chorale could be sung with congregation if we play just the chords. Sometimes the distance between tenor and the bass is more than an octave, which means the pedals are suitable, right? But then we have flourishes between the phrases, and those flourishes were exact things which congregation in Arnstadt, where Bach worked as an organist, complained about. You see, Bach spent a few months in Lübeck, traveling on foot to study with the master Dieterich Buxtehude there. And apparently, we believe that he picked up this technique of improvising between the phrases of the chorale in Lübeck from Buxtehude, and decided to apply this in Arnstadt. Of course, Arnstadt is rural, or was a rural parish and congregation. They never heard anything like that before, and they were angry about that. A sort of young, ambitious organist making a mess in the service. So, but that was a young Bach, and he couldn't help himself experimenting, right? He had to experiment no matter what. So, between each and every phrase, sometimes you have soprano run, sometimes the bass run, sometimes both hands participate, right? And that's how this piece is constructed. Sometimes you have dissonant chords here, which sound quite dramatically on historical tunings. Maybe he had Werkmeister temperament, maybe Kirnberger, maybe some other version of that in Arnstadt, we don't know. But for sure, a piece with 3 sharps would be sounding dramatically there. And if you play with, diminished 7th chord sometimes, then you can really make a dramatic effect there.
Could you talk us through the chordal structure in the keys and modulation.
Alright, so I'll be playing very slowly, right, with my hands only, so that my fingers will be visible, and then we'll talk about the chords. So it starts, maybe I will use just one flute for now. It's very easy to understand the key, right? Three sharps, beginning and ending is A major, we assume it's A major key. What happens later is this is the tonic chord of the A major. The next chord is already with G natural, which is the sign of D major. So that's dominant second chord of D major. And here is D major 6 chord, which in A major is subdominant 6. So it's short tonicization, short excursion into the D major. Right? Continuing in D major, this is dominant 4/3 chord. D major tonic chord. A major 6 chord. And now this is a 5-note chord, which is in A major, diminished 7th chord. But which one? Which inversion? Oh, this is 7th chord based on the raised altered 4th scale degree. It's advanced harmony. Or maybe this is excursion into C sharp minor, because the next chord is C sharp minor. So you see, you can harmonize this any chord in a number of ways, right? For example, this top note E could be done in C sharp minor, in A minor, in E major, right? Still keeping the top note. So he chose C sharp. Now it is flourish. E sharp, which means we are in F sharp minor. Sure enough, the first chord of the next phrase is F sharp minor chord. Now we're back to D major, dominant 4/3 chord of D major, tonic of D major. We're repeating the dominant tonic 6th chord of A major. This is diminished 6th chord of A major. Tonic chord of A major.
As you do these flourishes, can you tell me, how do you decide the change between left hand and right hand?
Here, most of the time it's written out, because when the stems are up, you play with the right hand. When the stems are down, you play with the left hand. But sometimes you can choose which works better for your hand.
And you prefer it to be using 5, 4, 3, 2?
Yeah, without the thumb, because in those days keys were shorter and the thumb playing was not comfortable.
So no crossing over the thumb?
It could be done this way, but if you have another option, I'll choose the other way. So, another flourish. Leading to A major. The middle voice is moving now. This is dominant 6th chord. Dominant
So F sharp minor is the related minor key, right?
Yeah, it's a 6 scale degree chord or key of A major. Now this is a place where we come back to A major through the modulating chord of 2nd scale degree 6/5 chord of A major. Now dominant chord of A major, tonic, going back to F sharp minor through dominant 7th chord, F sharp. Now it's this is D major 6th chord. Dominant 6/5 chord of A major. A major flourish, arpeggio dominant chord, tonic, dominant, tonic, tonic, dominant 6/5 chord, tonic 6 chord, tonic, subdominant chord, now tonic chord, but now with G natural, this is a sign of D major. Now D major 6/4 chord. What is this? This is this is diminished 7th chord of the 7th scale degree of A major. Tonic, 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 dominant 9th chord of A major, of D major actually.
And you knew that because it was returning to D.
Yeah,
With this.
G natural everywhere. Now another phrase in between, connecting D major with something else. G major. You see C natural. Back to D major, D major chord. Oh, this is B minor chord. So in D major it's a 6 scale degree chord. Back to A major, dominant chord of A major, dominant tonic 6 chord. Dominant chord of A major, 6 scale degree F sharp minor chord of A major, subdominant chord. Now, what does this G natural means and A sharp? This is the place for B minor because A sharp is 7/3 scale degree of B minor, and the cadence ends not on the tonic of B minor but on the dominant of B minor, which is F sharp major key. But still it's B minor. Connecting material. See, it's B minor because of this A sharp. Then coming back, tonic of B minor. Again. B major chord, which is actually back to subdominant 4/2 chord of A major, dominant 7th chord of D major. Remember, this is a plagal extension, like a cadence with modulation to subdominant key to end the piece. Remember, I taught you in your position. D major flourish and tonic, but not yet. Subdominant 6/4 tonic. Now 2nd scale degree for 2 chord tonic. Excursion to D major tonic. And this is a big plagal extension. Now we're using pedals in the bass because the texture is too wide. This is D major for 6/4 chord, which in A major is subdominant 6/4 chord. Excursion to D major through dominant 7th chord. Common note is A for both keys, A and D major and A major. 2nd scale degree for 2 chord, tonic chord, and now pedal point. You see where I'm holding the note A in the pedals and in the soprano too, which means that in the left hand I have another chord on top of A major, which is diminished for 2 chord and tonic. So if you want to expand your ending of improvisation, you can borrow Bach's ideas too, transpose into other keys, and this will become yours.
Can you explain to me what a plagal cadence means again?
Plagal cadence is different from authentic cadence. Authentic cadence involves chords of the tonic and the dominant, and plagal cadence involves chords of the tonic and subdominant. For example, in A major, authentic cadence would be tonic, tonic, dominant, and tonic. Plagal cadence in the same key would be tonic, subdominant, and tonic. Different feeling because subdominant is not as unstable because it has 1st scale degree common note for both keys, A major and D major. And in the dominant version we have 2 common notes too. Actually 1, E, right? E is common for A major and for E major. But the dominant is more unstable because it has 7th scale degree, which has to be resolved to the 1st scale degree. And in subdominant version, the unstable scale degrees are 4 and 6, which have to be resolved downward to 6, 3 and 5, C sharp and E, right? But going downward is not as intense than going upward, right? Therefore, dominant is more intense.
Okay.
Authentic is more intense. So most of the pieces in early days were ending with the plagal extension because you could modulate through the subdominant chords and come back to the tonic while holding the 1st scale degree. It finishes musical ideas. And if you have the dominant pedal point and holding then the 5th scale degree, E.
So that's the dominant.
Dominant. Tonic. Dominant. Tonic. What do you feel?
Waiting for resolution.
Exactly. But there is no resolution because even if it's a tonic chord in the hands, in the pedal now I want to finish, right? So I'm coming back to A major. Now it's subdominant and tonic. And now I can make more excursions to subdominant too.
Represent in the dominant key?
In the dominant key, it represents third scale degree. Third, because it's A major key.
Sorry, the subdominant. Sorry, because you're playing D, aren't you, in the pedal?
Oh.
Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Subdominant.
Oh, this is a diminished seventh chord of A major.
Okay.
You could play any chord now you want, based still holding the A. Look, this is diminished, right? I could make it more diminished with three minor thirds. Minor, minor, minor. Look what Rieger would do. Chromatically upwards, tension rising. Maybe dominant and what? What happened if I pressed D in the pedals?
Feels unstable, doesn't
It
it?
is very unstable. And back to A. And now Krebs would add. Tonic, dominant, tonic. Because he is a student of Bach and now has more new ideas. Not only finishing the piece with the plagal extension, right, into the subdominant, but then making authentic cadence, tonic, dominant, tonic.
But you had a 7th scale degree in there as well, didn't you? Dominant 7th, is that right?
Yes, but the general feeling is dominant. The inversions and the complications of that chord are just on top of that, but the color is dominant, right? Tonic, dominant color. And the first chord was not exactly tonic either. It was tonic 6/4 chord. Dominant 7th chord, right? So that was a later idea to finish the piece with authentic cadence, more classical, right, like Mozart. And in Baroque period, they would finish with more excursions to the subdominant keys. Okay, guys, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. This was Vidas, and I hope this was useful to you, right?